share with you the tangent I went on about Kibbe, like, what's it called, Kibbe body types, and I'm not even going to go as far as to assume you care about my body type or like my thoughts on it, because honestly, I'm still super confused, and I'm not, as you'll learn from this, most joy to wear. And I've noticed that with clothing that's... Okay, so let me give you some examples, because you're probably like, well, you keep telling me that you're not talking about body type stuff, so what are you talking about? Okay, so I love the look of lots of detail around the neck, high collars, a lot going on, you know, beadwork, a lot up here. And this is not at all permission to just